The value that you get from this video are the actual numbers of these buy orders that I've just set for myself. Let me read out all of these buy orders that I will have set from smallest to largest. So, welcome everybody to Bitcoin Cash. This prediction that I did back in 2021 blew up for this channel and has been instrumental in the growth that we've seen. So, because I'm not doing my course on how to exit the market this cycle, what I'm going to do is add all of that value and all of that information into these videos for free, and I'll be making a course about how to re-enter the market at the bottom. That'll be later on. But anyway, Bitcoin Cash, lots of good history to go on. So we've got fractals to look at. We've got the Fibonacci's that work out just perfectly on this one. And as you can see, Bitcoin Cash is way down here in the 0.236 zone. We're way down here, which is ideal because when we're looking for a coin to get into, because 90% of coins haven't gone yet, this is obviously one of them, we look to see if they're in this red zone here, the 0.236 on the Fibonacci. In this video, I'm also going to be giving you, sell-off points or points that I would be looking at taking my profits out at. And then also, if the top of the Fibonacci's are hit, when we'll be kind of buying in, and I'll give you exact numbers. So stick around. Here we are at today's price, which is $397.41. To the top of the fibs, we've got a 4,428% growth potential. That's 44x your money. Bitcoin Cash, Sia Coin, Zcash, Neo, Dash, all of these coins are they're all in the 0.236. XRP is as well. And if you haven't seen my video about XRP and the similarities between the 2017 market and what we've just seen happen in the last year or so, do go and watch that because that's super interesting. All of these coins are down in the 0.236 area and haven't gone yet in the market. Even in May, when we had the big kind of run-up that everyone was talking about, that previous all-time highs were made, 10% of coins actually made their new all-time high in this zone. As you can see for Bitcoin Cash, we just only got to the 0.382 zone, which is right on this line, which has been, a struggle even in the last, it's been a resistance point in the previous cycle. Let's make the assumption that we're going to make it up to the top of these fibs. Let's draw some lines on here. So at the 2.618, 3.618, and the 4.236 Fibonacci extension. So where we end up with those kind of sell-off points are $11,270, $15,571, and $17,927. Those would be my ultimate sell-off points. But what I also have to say is that when you're looking at selling or coming out of the market, you need to be looking at a few things. One thing you need to be looking at is Bitcoin. Have we reached this 702 Fibonacci extension? I've got a video about that. You will have to go back and watch that. It's one of my best videos. Have we reached this zone? And have the altcoins gone up at the same time as we've reached this zone? If we have, and you look over on the CBBI and we're up in the 90s on the CBBI, and then on the Fear and Greed Index, if we're also in the 90s, if all of those things start to converge, then, and we haven't reached the top of these prices, then we're still looking to sell off, right? At that point, whatever comes first is what we do. Ideally, they all happen at the same time, right? So then you've literally squeezed the most amount of juice out of the market. But if we hit the 702 and we're still over here, actually, I'm taken out of the market regardless of my price target. So these price targets do rely on us getting here before the 702 Fibonacci extension or retracement line has been reached by Bitcoin. Again, watch that video. If we did reach kind of the middle of these buy-in points, we get an average order probably of around $14,500 as an average kind of sell-off number. When we're calculating the entry points into the market, where are we looking? Well, we have to look at previous cycles and how much the price comes down in these previous cycles. So let's do exactly that. So let's come down. Bitcoin Cash came down 98.13% in the last market. Here we go. I literally think we just do these things again. So if you come right in the middle at that $14,500 level and we come down 98.13, I'm getting extra specific here, and then I draw another line right there. And these lines are going to be changed into green because we're going to be buying at these points, so buying at these levels. Something I really want to teach in these videos is what you're looking for when you set your buy order amounts. So that was an exact amount that the price came down. So if we, just for visuals, if you took the top of the market and took it down to the bottom here, and then you place that at the sell-off point, the middle of the sell-off point, you can see we come right down to that line, right? So this line is based on the middle, the average purchase price. If we go slightly higher, then this line would obviously be slightly higher. And if we didn't reach it, and this was the top, then it would obviously be slightly lower. What we're doing is typically I want to be on the conservative side. So the middle sell-off point and the 98% drop, this will be my lowest buy order. Simply because, yes, we could go lower, but I want to make sure all of my buy-in levels are hit, because essentially what we're doing is we're buying here in the equivalent time scale, right? We're buying down in these zones. So ultimately, if you average in over a longer period of time during these dips, then you're going to get a good price and you're not actually trying to time the bottom of the market, you know? So we're not too worried about missing the bottom. We just want to get an average order in around these levels. So this is my first level. And when we look at creating more levels, what do we look for? Well, what we look for is to create 5 buy-in points. The reason I say 5 is because you can attribute a nice easy 20% of your total amount of Bitcoin Cash that you want to hold. Like, you should always have a goal of how many coins you want to hold. What I do is I take my line and I look at previous wicks in the market that have been support and also resistance on multiple occasions. So I'm going to draw one right here, because right here, look, there was lots of issues around this wick. And I can see it was support right here, resistance here, support and resistance around here, resistance right here. And, you know, so there's been lots of movement around this level. So I would assume that we're going to come back to that level. So let's draw 3 more marks on different levels. So I can see that here was an area of resistance. There's and back here it was actually a support twice. It double bottomed here and there was a wick down to this level. Has issues around this level again and again over here. So like I said, I want this bottom line to stay at the bottom, so I'm not going to go lower than that. But what I am going to do is put my buy orders in at these wicks. Just look across, you know, I'm doing this really for myself because I will be buying Bitcoin Cash at the bottom next time. Wick, you know, there's another wick here, to the support down here, you know, bounced all around these areas. And I'll put one more in. Where would I do that? I'm actually probably going to put it right in the middle of these, because I can see a wick here, lots of issues around here, and I want to catch the price in this area. So the value that you get from this video are the actual numbers of these buy orders that I've just set for myself. And they can obviously change a little bit. I could potentially move this one down to hit the top of this wick. I could be more precise, but in general, you know, I'm just going for an average buy order of kind of $306. But let me read out all of these buy orders that I will have set from smallest to largest. So $263.75, $286.20, $306.82, $326.46, and $345.58. And where would we be buying contextually if we bought in these levels? Well, I would say, like I said before, the equivalent buying right here, like an average order right in here, would be like buying right down. If we kind of repeat even just what we've done already this cycle, not even like what we can do, if we repeat what we have done in this cycle already, you know, that's almost a 2,000% increase, and we haven't seen the top of the fibs, right? We haven't even reached up here yet. So if you imagine, you laddered in down here, imagine, and you rode it all the way up to the middle of these sell points at 14,500, you got a 17,000% growth. And so the way I look at it is, okay, so what's the 2025 market going to be looking like, and how do we do that? Well, I use my Fibonacci's, my reliables, go to the 14,500 mark as the top of the market. then down to the middle of my buy orders, which would be an average buy-in of about $306 based on this analysis, we would be looking at, in 2025, anywhere between $51,812 and $60,611. We would have been getting in right up here. And what's the percentage increase from our average buy order to kind of a middle sell-off point? Well, there you go, it's 17,000%. So that's how I do my analysis. I use historical data. I use smart decisions like laddering in to buy at the equivalent moments of this. These moments where you buy in here is ultimately where you've just put things in place to change your life, right? You're changing your life, turning small amounts of money into life-changing money, like way up here. That's what we do on this channel, and I hope you got value from this one. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, what are you doing? Go and do it. Look at all these entry and exit point videos I've already done. SIA Coin, XRP, Cardano, Dogecoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin, and there's also UFO in there as well if you're interested. I've also got some strategies based on mathematical algorithms and everything on how to trade properly. And there's also some challenges in there that you might be interested in as well. And if you haven't followed me on Twitter, you might as well go and give it a go, because I've been posting on there some interesting things about XRP's growth, because I'm basically all in on XRP, and posting things on here like when I'm buying certain coins and different analysis things I wouldn't typically put onto YouTube. And if you've watched all this way, I really thank you. There's so much planned for this channel. You have no idea. It's going to be absolutely wild. So if you're part of it now, you know, you're getting in early, and it's going to be a wild ride, and I'm going to involve as many of you as I can. This is a video that the algorithm thinks you might find interesting, so go and check it out.